Hello everyone, and welcome you all to another chapter of the Adobe Premiere Pro Essentials tutorial. So now, here in this particular chapter, I'll be showing you guys how you can actually use the pen tool in Premiere Pro. Okay, so there are different uses, like you can create a lot of shapes, and as well as if you wanna make some changes in your keyframes, if you wanna put that, okay, for smooth transitions and all. I'll be telling you guys the usage of the pen tool here in the Premiere Pro. So let's not waste time and let's get started on learning how to use the pen tool in Premiere Pro. So here, as you guys can see, now I'm in the homepage of the Adobe Premiere Pro. So from here, I will just try to create a new page and I will name this project as the pen tool. Okay. So I will just name this one as the pen tool. And now I will click on create, which will just create me a new project over here on my screen. Okay, so the first thing which I need to do is I need to just import few of the medias. Okay, so from here, as you guys can see, I do have my resource file out here. And what I can do is I can just click on this and I can just open this thing up and just choose all of this from here. And now I will just open this thing. And the same way, if I want to make it a list view, let me just get it as a list view over here. And I also want to add some musics, okay? So I will just come here back again, go to my resource file over here, and I do have some audio, so I'll just input one audio right now, okay? So from here, now what I'll do is I am going to import some of the media over here to my timeline. Okay, so I will just import some medias out here. Okay, so let me just import this particular media over here. Okay, I will just decrease the size of this one right over here. I will go to the source clip if I want to see this thing out. Okay, so I can just give this thing a double click, or over here, if I want to see this particular thing, I can just give a double click, as I have already explained to you guys about all the source panel and all of this thing here in detail. Okay, so the next thing what I'm going to do is, as I have imported this music over here, okay, let's listen to this music, how it actually sounds. Okay, so here, as you guys can see, I have this particular music over here. So what I can do is I want to just take the audio. So I will just drag this audio up. Okay, and here with my razor tool, okay, I want to give this a cut somewhere around here. Okay, so I will just give this thing a cut over here. And with my selection tool, I will just delete this particular part. Again, come to this video over here. Take your playhead down at the beginning. Okay, so now where you can actually get your pen tool. Okay, so here this is basically the pen tool which you are going to use right now. Okay, so pen tool is basically used if you're familiar with any other software like the Photoshop or the Illustrator, okay, any designing software, okay. So in that case, you guys might be familiar with what a pen tool is, how it actually works. Suppose I do make a thing over here, okay. So now what I want to do is if I just want to go back, I can go back. If I want to go back again, I will go back again. So here, as you guys can see, I have made a point over here, and now I can just make a rotation or anything as such. The same way I can just make a rotation over here. Okay, so here, as you guys can see, I can make different type of shapes. Okay, if I want to make different shapes around here. Okay, so here you guys can see. And now what else I can do is if I want to add any keyframes, I can basically add some keyframes here as well. Okay, so what I can do is if I just come here, okay, select this particular selection tool, and now I can just position this one accordingly. If I just want to decrease the size, I will be able to decrease the size. Okay, So this is the usage of the pen tool right over here. Okay. So to view that properly, what I need to do is I need to come here and I just need to go to my effects control. Okay. So here what I can do is I can just select this particular graphic over here, and after that I will just go to the effects control. Okay. So here in my effects control, you guys can see I do have this shape 1. Okay, so this one is named as the shape 1. Okay, if I want to work on this particular thing more, what I can do is I can just click over here in this particular option. Okay, so suppose if I just come here again. Okay, so let me just make a new shape. Okay, so let me just make a new shape over here, and what I can do is if I come and select this selection tool. Okay, so here you guys can see now I do have another shape over here. Okay, so this is the shape number 1, and here it's coming the shape number 3. Okay, so if I want to work anything with this one, okay, so I can actually work over here in this particular shape. So I will just delete one over here, but I hope you guys have understood that how many shapes you add, okay, whether it's using your pen tool or any other tool like the ellipse tool or the rectangle tool. Okay, so you guys will be able to do that here as well. So what I can do is I will just delete this shape number 3, and I'll just come here and I'll just show you guys the options what are available over here. So first off, if I want to create a path, okay, so I will be taking a class on masking in the next chapter. Okay, so I'll be telling you guys how this masking basically works. Okay, so here also you can just put on some animation. Okay, here in its appearance, if you want to change anything up, you guys can basically change this thing up over here. Suppose if I want to change the color, I can just change the color from here. Okay, if I do want to add some stroke, okay, I can just add some strokes. So for that, basically first off I need to just click over here. Okay, so now as you guys can see here on my screen, I do have a particular stroke all around. Okay, and now if you want to add any shadows here as well, okay, if I want to add some dark shadows over here, then I can just click on OK, and here I can basically add some shadows. Okay, so here you guys can see the opacity of the shadows. Okay, so from here now it's on 75%. Okay, and if I want to add any different colors, I can come up here, and here you guys can see I do have a lot of it which I can just work on over here. Okay, and here it's just telling me to choose the angle where I can put. Okay, so this one is basically the angle, and here also as you guys can see what might be the distance. Okay, so now here you guys can see, now I am just able to show you guys the shadow over here. Okay, so basically you won't take a green color for your shadows, but to show you guys where the shadow is located, here now you guys can see it properly here on my screen. Okay, so basically I don't use that much of the things over here. Okay, so you can basically control it somewhere around here or from here on this side as well. Okay, so the options are basically quite the same. Okay, and here you guys can see if I just want to make this thing a little bit blur. Okay, so if I just increase the blur, you guys can see it's kind of fading out. Okay, and here you guys can see if I just want to increase the size, okay, I can just increase the size of the shadow over here, and this one is the distance as I have already told. Okay, so if I just deactivate this one, okay, it will be deactivated. I won't have any shadows over here. Okay, and now here they're asking me if I want to put up any stroke. Okay, if I want to put up any stroke, where do I want to put? So if you guys just notice at this part now, this one is outside of my shape which I have created. Okay, so there are different options. Okay, if I want it inside, Okay, I can get it inside the circle or the shape which I have created. And if I just want it center in the center, I can also get it here in the center. Okay, so you guys will be able to understand more if I just try to increase the stroke size from here. Okay, if I just want to increase the stroke size, I will be able to increase the stroke size from here as well. Okay, so here if I just increase the stroke width from here, and now if I just show you, if I want to place it outside, this is how it looks. If I want to place it inside, okay, so this is how it will look. And if I just want to put it here in the middle, okay, or in the center, that's how it's going to look. Okay, so now I will just turn off the stroke here again. Uh, and if you want to mask with shape, okay, we can also mask with shape. Okay, so there is another option. Okay, so we can also mask using the shape, which I'll be telling you guys in detail in my next class. Okay, so we'll be learning about that thing. Okay, so if you just come here in this right corner, okay, so here in the essential graphics option, here you guys can see I do have the shape options over here as well. Okay, so if I just wanna put so many shapes all together, and then I can just create a group, and I can just place all the shapes inside a group over here. And if I just want to create a new layer itself, I can also create a new layer. Okay, so if you just want to align it, you can align it according to yourself. Okay, so if you just want to move this thing around, hold and move this thing around, you can do that. And this one is the toggle animation for the anchor point. Okay, I have already explained to you guys about the anchor point, and this is about the toggle animation for the positioning. Okay, so the same, this is scaling, some rotation, opacity. Okay, so now here you guys can see I can basically work with this positioning over here. Okay, so if you want to work on with the animation, you guys can actually change the position up here. Okay, you guys can increase or decrease the size of your graphics from here. Okay, so now if I just play, it will just disappear after some time, as you guys can see. Okay, I just made a random shape, so I know that doesn't look pretty, but to make you guys understand that what is the basic use of a shape, okay, and what is the use of a pen tool right over here. Okay, so in the same way, if you want to create any rectangle box, so here you guys can just take this, and what you can do is you guys can actually create a rectangle box somewhere over here. And with this particular tool, what you can do is you can just place this over anywhere. Okay, sometimes what you need to do is sometimes you just need to put on some details. Okay, so I will also tell you guys how you can actually work with all that. Okay, so I will just place this one over here. And now what I want to do is, as I do have this particular shape, so I will just delete this one. I will just skip this particular shape. And now what I want to do is I just want to work with this particular shape. So let me just get a color over here. I will just show you guys if I want to take any color from the nature itself. I can basically take some color, okay? So using my eyedropper tool, I can just get some colors. Again, if I want to change this thing, okay, I will just, I can first check things around over here. And whatever color I can just pick up, I can just take those things around here. So let me just take this color over here. I don't want any stroke. And what I want to do is like, after some time, okay, so now I do have this color over here. What I can do is I can just click here on the appearance over here, and I'll just add an animation. So after some time, when my graphics is somewhere over here, what I want to do is I just want to change this color, okay, to something dark. Okay, so I can just click here, okay. And now if I just see a preview of this thing, this is how it will actually look. So you guys can see the change in the color. And the same way, if I just click on this thing, I will be able to create some rectangle. Okay, so if you want to create some rectangle which is proportional, okay, in that case you just need to click on shift from your keyboard, go to your preview window, and now you guys can actually make a circle which is quite, or make a rectangle which is quite proportional. Okay, so from here only, if you just right click on your mouse, okay, you guys will be able to create some ellipse as well. Okay, so for now, what I'll do is I will just select this selection tool. I don't need this. I will just delete this particular thing right over here. And if you want to move this thing around, you guys will be able to move this thing around over here as well. Okay, so I will just keep this over here, bring this out. Okay, so this is how it is going to look. Okay, so if you want to make any changes, make sure you come to that particular graphic, okay, and make changes according to yourself. Like if you want to put any text on top of that, okay, we'll be learning about text later, okay, in detail, we'll be learning about the text. So now let's try to understand other usage of this pen tool. So now I have already told you guys, like if you want to, so if I just want to increase the height of this particular tracks over here, what I can do is I can come here, bring my mouse, and I can just drag this thing up somewhat like this. Okay, so this is one way. Otherwise, what I can do is I will just select that particular track over here, click on Alt, and just bring your mouse up or down. Okay, so this is another way of how we can actually work this thing out. And I'll show you guys the usage of the pen tool over here as well. So for that, if you want to change the opacity, in that case, what you can do is if you want to add some keyframes over here to this particular frame, you need to come here in this timeline display settings, and you just need to click here. Okay, so here there are different options, but which one you're going to choose is you need to choose show video keyframes. Okay, so make sure that you choose this particular option, and once you choose this particular option, here you guys can see I can change the opacity. Okay, so there is a particular line over here. So now if you want to add some keyframes to it, what you can do is you can just take your pen tool, and once you're above that particular line, here you guys can see once I do have my pen tool, what I can do is if I just click on here, whenever I do have a plus icon, I can just click, and here you guys can see I do have those keyframes added over here. Okay, so using this one, what I will do is I will just decrease this thing over here, and now I will add another keyframe somewhere around here, and again here at the end, and I'll just drag and drop these things over here. Okay, so now let's try to see. This is how it will actually look, and when it is time to fade this thing out, okay, so it will also fade out quite properly if you guys just try to notice. Okay, so this is how it will just fade out. Okay, so this is how we can actually work on with this, and from here if we want to add any keyframes at any point, okay, we can actually work over here. Okay, now the same thing, okay, the same thing can be done here with this audio as well. Okay, so for that, first I need to just increase this thing over here, and now what I can do is if I want to add some keyframes, okay, I will just add one over here, and what I can do is I will bring this thing down, and I'll just skip this one over here, and now this one as well, I will just bring this thing down over here. Okay, and now I will just play this total thing up. So you guys can see the smoothness when I am transitioning the audio over here, okay, when I play. Okay, so now here also you guys can see it is just slowly fading out. Okay, so this is the work of the pen tool in detail. So I hope you guys have understood this class as well, like how you can actually use the pen tool, what are the different uses. Okay, so Hope to see you all in the next chapter where I'll be showing you guys how you can basically do masking. Okay. So there also you do have some options. Okay. So there basically you have the option of how you can use the pen tool for masking. Okay. So if you just click over here, okay, if I just come here on the shape, there is an option with mask with shape. Otherwise, if I come to this particular frame, if I go to my motion, and here in the motion, I also do have the option for masking. Okay, if I do use any kind of shapes or anything, okay, I'll be showing you the usage of masking in Premiere Pro. So see you all in the next chapter. Hope you guys have understood the usage of pen tool in detail. Then take care and goodbye everyone, guys.